What's up, beautiful people? It's holiday time, but because of coronavirus, most of us cannot go on holiday somewhere. We have to stay at home, but we can have some fun with After Effects, hopefully. So yesterday I have prepared an animation loop for Instagram, a 10 seconds one, very short, using particulars and plenty of effects. So I'm going to show it to you, and then we are going to discover how I've done it in After Effects right after that. Here is the video. And here we are in After Effects. So let's have a look. So let's create a new composition, 1080 per 1080 with 24 FPS, if you like, and that's good to go. Okay, and we have our composition. Fit window to see it all. We are going to create a new shape layer, and in this shape layer we are going to draw a heart. Okay, so let's start like this. Pick the pen, click, and then move about right here, keeping the mouse button down. You're going to create this curve, and then you're going to click here, and then you're going to do the same on the other side, and then you're going to close the heart. Okay, the form is not that great. Then you press on V on the keyboard, and then you can just play a little bit with the vertices here to have something a little bit more symmetric. But you can do how you like it. No problem at all. Let's look good to me, and here we go. Now we are going to put a fill on this heart, so it's going to be red. I click on fill. If you don't have it, you can click on fill and select the solid color here. We don't need a stroke, so click on stroke, and you can select none here. And here we go, we have our heart. Then press Y to get to activate the pan behind, to move the anchor pointer. And you're going to move the anchor pointer right here on the bottom of the heart. Then press V again, put the heart a little bit higher like this, and we are okay for the heart. Now we are going to create a new solid, whatever. We are going to name it particles, and we are going to add to this layer the particle effect, particular. I'm using red giant particles because I like them so much. They're much more powerful than standard particles in After Effects. You can try doing something similar with the standard particles tool, but yeah, I don't think you're gonna achieve would want to achieve today. But anyway, I used I started with pre-designed example with the preset. So open the presets here in the particle tool, and I can't really remember which one I used. I think it was this one, ink drop. Yeah. So let's let ink drop. You see, this is what's going to propose you a very nice ink dropping into water, most likely. So just select that and click on apply, and you should have your particles here showing after some seconds. So let's have a look at the properties. First of all, we are going to move the origin almost at the bottom of the heart, something like here. After that, we are going to the particular properties. We are going to open the particle master, and we are going to modify the color. So with the color picker, we just select the same color as the heart. We're going to modify the blend mode from screen to normal. Now we have the same color for the heart. So let's have a look at how it looks right now. Here we will have to play a little bit with the positioning. So first of all, I would like to modify a little bit more here, the position, yeah, like that. I want the particles to last for some seconds and then stop. So let's say until 5 seconds we're going to modify the emitter. So you see that now we are emitting more than 3000 particles per second. So we are going to create a keyframe on this. Here, then click on U to see it here, and then we move just a little bit after, and we are going to create 0. So until here we will have, yep, like that. So let's have a look how it looks. It's gonna create particles and then poof, and the particles will go away. Let's have a look at the life of the particle. So let's look into the particle folder. You see now the life is 19 seconds, which is way too much because I want the particles to disappear before the end of the loop. So we're going to put something like 5. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, I like that. Looks cool. I want the particles to move a little bit farther down. So what we are going to change now is the physics. And you see that we have a fluid folder because this is using the fluid simulation. And we are going to look for the buoyancy. I don't know how to pronounce this, but we're going to put something negative, something like -2. Let's have a look what has changed. Yeah, you're seeing that it's at the beginning it's a little bit slow and then it's moving fast. Yeah. That's nice. I like it very much. So great, and the particle disappeared before the end. So that's perfect, right? What we want. There's a little bit too much turbulence here at the beginning. So let's see if we can modify the turbulence. The emitter maybe. Direction spread. Let's put something. We'll limit it something like 20%. Let's see. Yeah. Now you see that the particles are all emitting from the bottom of the heart, and that is what we want. Exactly right. This. Perfect. So let's move on. Now I want to animate the heart. So I want to animate the heart to get smaller while the particles are emitting. So from here to here, more or less, I want the heart to be smaller and smaller. So I forgot to rename this layer. So to rename a layer, just click on it and press enter on the keyboard and you can rename it. Well, let's name it heart. Now we are going to press S to show the scale property. And so let's put keyframe at the beginning with the scale. Let's press F9 to convert it to easy ease. And then we're going to move around where we stop the particles. And we're going to make it slower. As we move the anchor point at the bottom, you see that the scale is working towards the bottom of the earth. So let's see how it looks. It should start a little bit later because the particles are emitting. The particles are emitting from here, from the earth. So let's move the keyframe around here. Let's have a look. Okay, that's nice. I like it. So overall, it looks okay. What we are going to add now is a little bit of wiggle on the heart as well. So with the scale on the scale property, you're going to press Alt on the keyboard or Option if you have a Mac, and then click on the stopwatch here. And now you're going to write a wiggle. We don't want it to be very, very excited, so something like 2 per second, and you're going to move by, I don't know, 5%. Let's have a look. I'm not sure if I like it. Honestly, it's too much. So it should be something very, very small, something like 2, 1. Let's see. Yeah, very subtle, so that we just can see barely that it's moving. Yeah, great. Now that I realized that the particles move a little bit too much on the left, so what I'm gonna do is to select the particle and move it a little bit towards the right. Okay, great. Now, I don't like at the beginning though. Yeah, okay. And now what we are going to do is to move back the heart to the original scale of 100% towards the end. So what we're going to do, we are going to select this keyframe, Ctrl-C to copy it, then you move it around, I don't know, 8 seconds. You hit Ctrl-V to copy the same keyframe so that it stays at the same scale for this period, and then you're going to copy this one, you're going to move it around 9 seconds, and you're going to hit Ctrl-V to copy it. Okay, what I don't like with the standard is it's not enough cool, so we are going to, so it was a little bit too quick maybe, so what I have done, I have selected the scale property and clicked on the graph editor, and then you select this keyframe here and you're going to move, you see here the handle, towards the hand like this, and this one at the end, and you're going to move. If you press shift, you see that it will be on the same height. This is what you want. So let's do something like this. So what is happening, you see that the heart is starting slowly, then accelerating immediately, and then stopping slowly. Okay, this is what we want. Great. Now let's say we are okay with this, and you see with just two layers we have the first base for our animation. Okay, now we're going to do this. We're going to precompile this part. So select both layers. You click on Ctrl Shift C, and you create precomp 1. Okay. See, now you have only one pre-composition inside our comp 1. Now what we are going to do is to create a new one. So let's copy this one, Ctrl D, and we are going to rotate it. So click on it, click on R, and modify to 180. And here we go. So let's have a look what's going to happen here. I realize now that the two hairs are too close one to the other. So let's go back, double click on precomp 1, and let's move our animation. So let's move the heart a little bit higher on the composition. So what we're going to do is to maybe a little bit smaller because it's too big, I think. Yeah, that's too much damage. So let's move it. So let's click on heart S to see the scale, and then you're going to do the same keyframe. If you don't know how to go to a keyframe exactly, you just move your cursor here somewhere, and then you press J and K to move to the previous or following keyframe. So it's very important to be exactly on the same on the keyframe exactly when you want to modify the value of the property. So let's put, instead of 100, let's put something like 80. That's good. And so let's do the same with the final one. 80. Okay. Okay, now let's go back, and what we got to do is to move this. So we could either move I would like to move this heart towards the top, but thing is that we need to move also the emitter. So as we have already worked on this position, what we can do is to create a null object. Rename it as master, and let's move it to the top, and then select particles and heart, and click on the pick whip and go to the master. Now they are children of master, and then we can just move the master towards the top like this. Okay, and both of them have moved exactly what we wanted. Now we go back to comp 1. You see that the two hairs now moved apart nicely. Yeah. Okay, that's great. So one thing that I didn't want them exactly on the vertical symmetry. So what I did, I think it was to move them to something like 30, no, minus 30, and here 150, like this. And that's it. Okay. And now what we are going to do is to add some effects to this to the center, yeah, because this was kind of in vitro simulation. So I wanted to show something like a glass here in the middle. So let's go and create. Let me show how I have done it. So I have created a new adjustment layer at the top, and with this adjustment layer enabled, I have created an ellipse tool, and you can double click on it. So with that, you are just creating a mask on the adjustment layer. With the adjustment layer selected, you just select the effects and presets and look for grain, add grain. Okay, go into the add grain properties and go from preview to final output, and then you also add the black and white filter to the adjustment layer, and then we are going to expand the mask, not really expand, but actually reduce the mask to just the center, more or less like that, just to pick the end of the hearts. Now we will add a kind of lens here. So let's create a new click on layer, new shape layer, and on this shape layer we're going to double click on the circle here to create a circle. We don't want a fill, so no fill, but we want a stroke this time. So click on stroke. Oh, it's already there. Okay. And we're going to reduce it to the size we want. So go to ellipse path size. And you're going to make it smaller, something like that. A little bit more, maybe. Yep. Okay. So let's make it a little bit thicker. So something like, I don't know, 15. Okay. A little bit smaller maybe. So something like 280. Yep. Okay. That's nice. And then we can also add another effect to the adjustment layer. We want to add the bulge effect to add a bit of distortion to the animation in the center. So what we are going to do, yeah, it's right in the middle, right there, okay, the center. And we are going to increase the radius something like that. And yeah, I moved from the center. It was before right in the center. And then taper radius. So we don't care about this. So let's leave it to that. Okay. Let's see what happens. It's a little bit too much, right? So let's put it down like that. Okay. And what we are going to do is also to add some other effects to these adjustments, or we can even create a new adjustment layer. With some more effects for creating a glowing effect here inside the lens. So let's look for Gaussian blur, and let's move it to something like, I don't know, 30, around 30 is okay. And then we are going to also add the levels. And we are going to select here the alpha channel, and we are going to move it very close here. Yeah, one thing that I forgot to do is we need to move the same, to use the same mask that we had on this adjustment layer. So select the mask on the first adjustment layer, click, select Ctrl C and then Ctrl V on that one as well, the new one as well. So, and let's see that, yeah, now you have this glow effect in the center. Then what I did also was to create some animation inside this internal circle. So now you see that the heart is pumping whatever inside that. And what we can do is to create another lens here. This is the lens, right? Yes. Let's call it lens 1. So let's create a new one, Ctrl D to create a new one, and let's make it smaller. So contents ellipse, let's make it something like that. Okay. Maybe we can also add in the stroke. We can add some dashes. So let's click, yeah, well, something like that. Let's do something. So let's select the ellipse 1. Let's add a trim path so that we can animate the end of our trim path. So let's go to the beginning and let's move back the end to 0. Let's click on end on the stopwatch to create a keyframe. F9 is ease, and then let's move it around here right before the particles start emitting, and let's create another keyframe in here to 100%. Yeah, okay. What we can do is also move a little bit later. Okay, and then let's create a new one, starting copying again lens 1, Ctrl D. This will create lens 3, and let's make it, let's keep it like this. We're going to animate the size. So Open contents, ellipse 1, ellipse path, and we are going to animate the size. So move at the beginning, stopwatch to create F9 to compare to easy ease. And let's move it down to this dimension, and then let's go a little bit further and let's move it back to about this dimension. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so this must be, I think, much thinner, so can be something like 3. And let's modify a little bit the graph, the value graph in here. As you have seen that I like to change it here. Then you can add some sound effects like the click of a photo camera, something like that. And then we're going to animate towards the end. We're going to clean up these circles. We can use the same animation as we have done. So let's copy the last one here, around here, the one before the last one here, and the first one back in here. Let's see how it looks. Okay. And while this is going down, we can modify we can make this one, the one in the middle, disappear as well. So this is the, let's make it smaller. So when you select a layer, just click on U to show only the properties with keyframes. So around here, we're going to move this one. I want to close it, so let's copy this keyframe here, around here, and then this one around here. Okay. So now you have seen that in my original animation I also added a rotation on this on both layers. At this point, we can do this. There are two ways to do this. You can either create a null here and parent everything to this null, or you can and then apply the rotation to the null, or you can pre-compose this again and do the same into the in another composition. But let's try with a null. So let's create a new null object. We call it master, and let's select all the layers and let's parent them to this master. Okay. Now let's go. Let's get some rest to disable this. Yes. Okay. So let me check where are the keyframe for the lenses. So I would like to start the rotation when the internal circle is small. So it's like charging and doing the rotation. So around here I'm going to put the first keyframe for the rotation. So press R to bring up the rotation effect. Click the stopwatch F9, and then And you can move back around here, and you can do a full 360. And let's have a look how it looks. But well, I don't like this. I would like it in the other ways. So instead of 1, we put -1 here. Okay, the rotation is way too stiff, so let's do our usual fun. If you want to move the keyframe, just keep. If you want, it's better to hit Shift, and let's bring it towards the end. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Finished, and then click, clack, hop. So now we just want to add some text here on the external part. So what we can do is to just create a text layer. So write whatever we want, exactly whatever, with the font you like. We want to make it this location more or less. So with the layer text activated, we just select ellipse tool, and we are going to move it around here, maybe using the Shift tool, and then we can move it a little bit around here to match our existing positions. And with the mask selected here, what we can do is just to click on text and then path options, and then select the mask. This will put the text on the circle mask, and we can now check the reverse path. Put it to on, and then move the first margin to position our text wherever we want. We can also use this option to modify the baseline to have it higher or not on our composition. So let's have a look at the whole composition again, and that's it. Now you can do the animation you want. You can, for instance, use this first margin to have the animation to do the text appearing with the rotation, or yeah. So what we could do, I think I used the preset from Ajois to animate the text, but just for you, let's do like this. We can put the first margin. Let's put so the final position we want is this one. So let's put a keyframe here, F9, and then we move around here, and we select. No, maybe from here. Okay, let's see. Okay, then let's do something like this. I want the text to easy in very slowly, but to appear very abruptly at the beginning. Okay, something like this. And we can also modify the starting of this layer. So clicking on Alt and left square bracket, this will put the beginning of this layer right here, and that's cool. We can also modify the opacity of our layer. So let's select it, click on T to show opacity, move it back, move it to with a keyframe with 0, and then just click on U to show the other keyframe as well. K to move to the position of the next keyframe, and put 100% here. So let's see how it looks. Okay, that's looks okay to me. We can maybe even put a little bit longer. So now let me see what's happened. Let's go to the first margin. Yeah, it's gone too far here because it was too powerful, this handle. Maybe let's move this something. I like it. Maybe start earlier. And maybe we can make it disappear when here. Yeah, right here. So we can do something similar. So let's copy the keyframe here to here, and then we can copy those ones right here, and let's see what happens. What's going on the other direction, but that's not bad. I like it somehow. It's like it's closing something, no? One way the hearts and the other way the text. But you can do whatever you want, actually. Yeah. Well, you can let's see what happens if we rotate them and the other. Oops, what did I do? U J. Okay. Let's move them this way. Okay, let's see. Yeah, whatever. Well, both are nice, yeah. Choose whatever you like, my dear friend. I think that's it for today. So what we can do at this stage is to export. So what you have to do is to click on Composition, add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue, and this will add your composition in here, and then you just click on this button to start the encoding. You can export in H.264, which is very good for YouTube or Instagram. That's gonna be great. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. You have time, maybe, as I said, I have a lot of time because I could not go on holiday, so I had to stay home. So a lot of time for doing motion design. If you enjoyed this video, just know that I'm going to publish more or less one tutorial per week. So if you want to learn more After Effects and Adobe Galaxy, just subscribe to my channel and you'll find something interesting, hopefully. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to put a like on it, and see you next time.